source, a primary food source, and that means more clear land, more clear land is going to be gone, and grazing land is going to be increasing. That means temporary and permanent job losses from the meat industries. That is what we fear, ladies and gentlemen. We say that meat is not only affecting the environment as the proposition suggested, but meat is adversely affecting the economy. But what the proposition suggested as the adverse effect of environment is not actually true. I have clearly proven to you in my first argument why that is over-exaggerated, ladies and gentlemen. But also, we have an issue regarding the international food prices as well. Those people who are suffering from food crisis are not going to have anything to eat because developed nations who are not suggested to eat meat is going to buy crops and agricultural products from those developing nations. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, why the side opposition says that we should not eat meat, because meat is not only because meat is affecting the economy, not only affecting the economy badly, but also other sectors as well. Thank you.
Production is not polluting the environment as much. Do you agree with that?
Why is organic meat industry not polluting the environment as much? If the cows are producing just as much methane as the cows that are used in other meat industries as well.
Are you aware of the fact that there's a lot of pollution due to energy that is being used, drilling coal, etc., while producing the animals? Also, how could you comment on all the antibiotic and hormones industry that supports meat industry?
Why would they support meat industry? I don't understand.
Well, as we have showed you, there are lots of industries that are polluting highly, that are emitting chemicals such as hormone or antibiotic industry, which exist only because the meat industry needs those hormones to feed their animals.
Yeah, that's why we say that we should have a clearer meat industry, such as the That's why we suggested that.
Okay, so
why a cleaner process of meat production is needed.
So if in this debate the value is the environment, and we are saying that for the sake of the environment we should ban something, don't you agree that something that does not harm the environment is legitimate in this debate?
Yeah, that's exactly why we showed that the harm of meat is over-exaggerated in the status quo.
Well, why we're saying that it is unfair for us to propose organic meat if organic meat does not pollute the environment?
Well, we don't understand why organic meat industries are not polluting the environment.
Okay, I understood.
Yeah.
What you mean. Thank you. Well, secondly, you were talking about the methane, which would still be emitted even in those organic farms. Well, are you aware of the fact that methane, as CO2 as well, is it's a natural emission that exists in the world, but due to highly increased production of energy in the case of CO2 and of animals in the case of methane, is harmful to the environment?
Yeah, that's why we say that we should be tracking down cars or other sources of those methane gases, because those are more severe harms to the environment than meat industries.
Are you aware of the fact that meat industry is the most polluting industry in the world?
I do not get the source of that information. What is your source of information?
Oh my God. Well, is this my cross-examination?
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure she would remember it, or maybe not. Well, anyway. Well, secondly, you were talking about the pesticides and how the crops would be contaminated by pesticides if humans were eating more crops. Well, do you think that people would be eating the same contaminated crops as the animals are right now?
Well, if they do not have anything to eat, they do not have any choice but to eat crops. But you are saying that you're suggesting that people should not eat meat, but that will eventually mean that people have no choice but to eat crops.
Okay, thank you. So are you saying basically that there would be crops produced, as dirty crops produced for the people to use? You mean?
No, we're not saying that we're just let go of the dirty crops. We are saying that if any proper action is to be done to those dirty crops, we are going to take such actions.
Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not the meat that we're actually against, however much it sounds so. That is the first point I would like to clarify in today's debate. It's not the meat itself. It's the whole industry that we have in status quo, because we say just the methods that we use in the status quo in order to get the meat we are eating are just not the right ones. And that is one of the reasons why we are excluding actually organic meat industries. That's the case. When speaking about commercially gained meat, the thing that we're talking about in today's debate. We're saying that the word commercial in itself implies that those industries just try to get as much profit as they can. And they get this profit by polluting, by putting hormones in order to grow more meat, by just not caring about all the environmental things, responsibly growing GMOs and all the other similar things we have talked about. We say it wouldn't be a problem for us if the meat industry turned green. We say this wouldn't be a problem for us. However, we say we shouldn't eat commercially produced meat in order to help our environment. So what I'm going to do in my speech, first of all, I'm going to deal with the two arguments that were brought out by the side opposition, and then once again prove you that meat industry that we have right now is dangerous for the environment because of the pollution and because of the experiments with GMO it is conducting. So first of all, they told us that the whole case about the meat industry is way too much exaggerated. They said that if we decided to use more of the agricultural things, we would still